Let's continue to unpack the Discover Capital One merger. But before I even hop into that, let me just lay the land. So there's really like four different providers. And the difference between the providers is that there are infrastructure and then there are technology. In the middle here is Visa and Mastercard. They have infrastructure. Think of train tracks. And on the outskirts, you have infrastructure plus technology. Think of train tracks, but then the actual train, right? So it'll take you from point A to point B. Think of that in terms of payment. So these payment technologies get you from point A to point B. So that's Amex and Discover. And that's super important because of something called the Durbin Amendment. Now, you may ask, what exactly is the Durbin Amendment? It came out of the Dodd-Frank Act, and the Dodd-Frank Act essentially came from like 2008, 2009 crisis, where basically consumers were unprotected because of how institutions had harmful practices or non-like safety practices in place. So basically, what the regulators did was, in order to protect consumers, they basically capped the amount of fees that credit card providers could actually charge. But this is only required from the infrastructure companies, not the technology companies or the third parties such as American Express and Discover. So what exactly does that mean? American Express and Discover are exempt from this amendment, meaning that they are not imposed to caps on how much they charge for their credit cards. That's why historically American Express is not accepted widely by a lot of folks, especially outside of the United States, is because they charge extremely high fees to those vendors. Likewise with Discover. Now, I know there's been a ton of speculation and a whole bunch of questions about what does this merger actually mean. And essentially what that means, in my interpretation, is just higher fees. Higher fees for the end user and then higher fees for the vendors as well too. The folks that actually accept the payments and the folks that actually will be doing the payments on both ends. And the reason behind that, again, is because they are technology and infrastructure. They are a third party. They're not just a credit card company. So they don't fall within that amendment that actually caps the amount of fees that could be charged.